friends, and welcome to this week's DFU. Today we are continuing with the 12th class in our Final Fantasy VII semester. If you have not watched the previous 11 episodes, please go complete your prerequisites for this class and come back and enjoy it.
Gosh.
If you stay and just jump into the story here, shit will be... Ooh, I shouldn't swear in the first 30 minutes. Never mind. Stuff.
In the first 30 minutes? Jesus
30
Christ.
30 seconds.
Fucking demonetize me now. Shit!
You will spoil the story for yourself.
Fuck!
Don't do it.
You gotta tell me I can't cuss in the first 30 minutes of my own video? Fuck that noise. I'm out. Done. Ease. Fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you. I'm out.
God, I hope we're 30 seconds in.
Fuck you, YouTube.
If you've watched those videos, you know that we swear. You probably know that I'm the host. My name is Kelsey. I'm your fellow student.
Fuck
the
you,
other person
YouTube.
swearing loudly on the other side of the screen
Fuck!
is Chris, who I'm pretty sure before the episode started was super pumped about this episode. Now he's just pumped to swear a bunch.
Exactly. This is where we're at now. Damn, it's crazy. We haven't even uploaded this video yet, and I already got a message from YouTube saying your fucking video's been demonetized. Crazy. Joke's on you, bitch! We don't make any money! Okay. It's all for free. For now. Anyways. Yes. Super
Pretty
pumped.
sure you're excited for this episode.
I am. I'm really excited for the next episode, because that's the end of Disc 1. So it will feel like we've gotten somewhere. Yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying the story. I love this fucking game, so there's no fucking bother to me. But sooner or later, we got to get to the movie. So sooner or later, we have to.
I think at this point that's going to be like in December, and I'm going to be driving to your house in the snow. It's going to be terrible.
Crash and burn.
I mean, hopefully not, but you
Hopefully
might
not.
need like some hot apple cider with maybe some whiskey in it.
Hey, you know, I own my house. I got the liquors. I got some. Yes. But DFU. Where were we last? Oh, the date scene. The legendary
No,
date.
excuse you, no, the Temple of the Ancients.
Well, that's where we're going. But that's not where we're at, Kelsey.
No, the date ended with Mog, and Mog's not, well, Kate's not real, and Mog is real, which is...
You're not real, man! You can't handle the truth!
I probably couldn't.
Oh, man.
And Shinra's got the keystones headed to the Temple of the Ancients. Mog. Kate Sith has got...
I mean, you're not wrong. Mog is there.
Yeah, he's there. He's just not the big deal. Sorry, I should probably stop saying it.
Fuck you, Mog.
The little girl. The only name popping to my head is Magdalena, which is definitely not the right one.
He looks so creepy, by the way. Mog does. He did not translate well to the movie. He looks so creepy. Like, there's an opening scene where it shows, like, because, I mean, obviously, at this point, you know Sephiroth's the bad guy. But it shows, like, Sephiroth, and then it shows Cloud flying up to hit Sephiroth, and then it switches over. It's like they're telling the story of the game in, like, the first, like, 10 seconds of the movie. And it's like there's this great battle, and then it shows, like, Yuffie, Vincent, and Cid, and Barrett. No, Yuffie, Vincent, and Cid coming from the left, and then from the right, it's like Barrett, Tifa, Red 13, and then Kate Sith. And depending on which one you got, the original release actually had Kate Sith on Red 13. He was riding on Red 13, so he's holding on to his mane. And it's like that in the movie. Mog is not actually in the movie, regardless of what edition you get. But if you get the full edition, he's riding Mog in the flashback, showing them fighting Sephiroth, and then whenever it goes to the movie, he's riding Kate Sith. Or Kate Sith in Red 13.
You just gave me a spoiler.
Not really. No.
I wouldn't have guessed that Kate Sith was going to fight Sephiroth.
You wouldn't have guessed that Kate... Yeah, I told you that Kate Sith... Or Sephiroth's the bad guy.
I know, but at this point, what I know about Kate Sith is that he's kind of working.
Yeah, but I've
Shinra.
told you multiple times that he's like one of my main team people, and he makes it to the end. So I mean, I've already kind of spoiled that one.
He's not one of your team people. I know he makes it to the end. I know he's one of your favorite characters, but you and Cody are similar in that you like characters that are complicated and interesting and deep and real, not necessarily the good guys.
Yeah, he's really not. It's really not that big of a spoiler for sure. Kate Sith makes it to the end. If that makes you feel any better. Voss still gave you another spoiler, technically, whenever I was explaining it, which is the fact that he's not the first Kate Sith either. So that was also technically a spoiler for this episode. So,
God,
but we're jumping into it.
Spoilers all over the place, everybody. Just get in here, and I warned you in the first 30 minutes.
You did. It's all we do. Anyways, so jumping into it. Heading to the Temple of the Ancients. So we get the cat keystone, that whole mission, date scene. Now we're heading to the Temple of the Ancients because we can, as you said, Shinra's going to get there first. Kate Sith stole our key, gave it to Shinra, or gave it to the Turks. Turks are going to go there. So now we're on the way. So we get there, and immediately, I guess I'll go ahead and upload that first. But this is the outside of the Temple of the Ancients. That's what it looks like. A little Aztecish. So, as soon as we arrive, Cloud and them get on the bridge, and instantly Aerith, you have to have Aerith on your team at this point. It forces you to have Aerith on your team at this point, because obviously we're at the Temple of the Ancients. She's part ancient, obviously. So, talked about this already. So, she runs directly to the middle of the bridge and just kind of like collapses on the bridge, and like you just hear her saying like, I can hear them. I can hear it talking to me. So now that she's at a place that, you know, is like really strong, the magic of her, you know, ancestors, she can actually hear the planet a lot more clear now, and she can actually hear the other ancients who have died and passed on and have given their knowledge and their life to the planet. So she can kind of communicate with them.
Only the ancients, though, not the common people.
Correct-ish. Like, our powers are still too new.
Ah.
At some point she can kind of hear everybody, but at this point, like, her powers are still too new, so it's more like the ancients. Anyways, so she's like, we need to go inside. I need to get inside. Something's calling me inside. So they go to walk past the gate, and as soon as they do, a man in a black robe, which we've seen before.
Has this guy got a number tattooed on him somewhere?
Yep.
Talking about the reunion?
Yep. Except he doesn't say the reunion. He walks out and he says two simple words. Black materia. We've talked about this a couple times now. And we are about to officially dive the fuck in on black materia this episode. So that mystery will be solved. So we run up the steps, check him out. He's got the number 9 tattooed on him, I believe. And then we go into the door. And who do we see? Nothing but 4 pedestals. And then this main, like, fucking stone table that's got, like, this puzzle on top of it. And Sung sitting in front of the table. And, like, the ground kind of looks like a mirror. Wish I had a picture of this, but I don't. The ground kind of looks like a mirror underneath him. And so, like, he gets up and he walks over and he's all like, we shouldn't have come here. This was a bad idea. And he's got a stab wound. So we can only take a wild guess of who that could possibly be. So he hands the key over to Cloud and them. He goes, you guys can go. So, once again, judging on who you have with you, once again, you have to have Aerith. But at this point, I have Cloud Tifa Aerith. So use the key to open up, and you like sink through the mirror floor and pop out on the other side. The other side is this crazy ass maze. The picture I found, I've picked specifically for the viewers at home to be able to see. It will have arrows to show you where to go. So if you're playing along at home, this is a way for you to navigate this mind fuck of a maze.
Oh my gosh!
Because this
reminds me of things.
There are tons of items that are out here, and if you look at, let's see, so at the very bottom of the picture where that arrow connects and starts to make that long line, if you follow that, right before it turns left to go in that doorway, up on that ledge behind that doorway is a chest, and that is where the legendary ribbon is at. That is it, folks. That is the legendary piece of power armor that you need that can negate all status effects. And you can go beat the fuck out of Yuffie's dad. And you can go beat the fuck out of the battle arena. That is the amazing piece of power that is called the ribbon. And it literally is just a red ribbon that you wear on your arm. And it's the strongest armor in the game. It's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Whoever you put this on, there's only one in the entire game. And whoever you put it on cannot be affected by any status effects. It's ridiculous.
How long did it take you to figure out what this particular piece of armor did, because if I just saw the ribbon, I'd be like, the fuck's this? And I just wander away from it.
When I was a wee lad, I didn't really care about
A
listening
wee
to
lad.
anything that anything said. It was more along one of the biggest fuck ups that was hard for me to get over when I was first growing up was that you can't upgrade Cloud Sword. So at some point you do get rid of the Buster Blade, and all the swords look different. And it was very hard for me. All their weapons look different, and it was very hard for me to move away from the Buster Blade. But the Buster Blade is the original sword, and it has like 15 attack. So it instantly becomes obsolete, like within like 2 levels.
Did you try to keep it through the
I
whole
tried to
game?
keep it for way longer than I should have. Way longer than I should have. I did not want to put the Buster Blade down. It's fucking iconic, man. I love the fucking Buster Blade. It's great. That's what they should do.
You have it as a keychain now.
I
It's
do.
so cute.
It's great. I love my Buster Blade. All right, it's iconic. Anyways, so this is where you can get the ribbon. I did not pay attention to armor for the longest. I probably like my 3rd playthrough of this game. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should see what armor does. And then I found ribbon, and I was like, this is by far the best thing that has ever happened in this game. And it's
you discovered that covering your body will help protect it from damage?
I mean, covering like an inch of your arm with a ribbon, yeah, and it takes away all status effects, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For the longest time, too, I think I thought it was an accessory. When I first got it, I didn't even look to see like what category it was in. I just thought it was an accessory. So I was just like, well, I'm not fucking putting this on. That's fucking stupid. So I just kept moving forward. It's like, no, fucking dodge me with that shit. Out. Anyways, so you end up running through the mazes, but one thing that you end up finding in here are the ancients. And I don't know if I ever showed you what they look like, which I think I did, but I'm pretty sure I did. But this is what the ancients look like. The ones that stayed in the temple, by the way. These are the ones that are in the temple. Yep, little ancients.
They're adorable.
And they can't speak English anymore because they've been here for so long just to protect the temple with each other. Like there's only like 2 or 3 of them in here that basically, and they've been separated from each other, protecting different parts of the temple, that they just haven't had any communication. So they just kind of like forgot how to communicate because they didn't need to, because their sole purpose was just to protect this temple. Yep.
So they're these little hunched over people that are basically eyes coming out of beards and hats that can't talk and just kind of like grumble at each other.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep.
I love them.
And they got their little staffs too, their little canes. You see his right hand, this little walking cane.
I want a herd of them that are about this tall.
Yeah.
That follow me around everywhere. They sound amazing.
There you go. There you go. Anyways, and so what's cool about these guys is that if you find them, like I said, I think there's 3 of them total. If you find them, they act as not only save spots but rest spots as well. So you can rest and get all your HP and MP back. And, you know, move on to do a lot more fights, because this place is a fucking fiesta of fucking random encounters. So you're going to be fighting.
I'm kind of surprised that they trust you.
Well, they trust Aerith. They know that she's an ancient.
Ah. And as long as you're, you know, hanging out with her, you're good. Okay.
Which is even better that you brought that up, because it is really surprising that they trust us, because they're also running and scared of something too. And Aerith asked one of them, she can't understand them. She goes, "Are you scared because Sephiroth is here?" And they don't answer. Because right now we don't know if Sephiroth is here. We think he is. The only person word we have to trust on that is Sung. And it's like, well, I mean, can we really trust Sung?
He wasn't super useful.
Yeah, can we really trust Sung now? You know, a Turk? But anyways, moving on. So, that being said, so you find one for sure in this maze. It's actually at the very, very top to the left. There's like a doorway up there. That's where that one is hiding. But anyways, moving on. So you move to our next room. It's like this little fucking long bridge, and it's got like these C-shaped stones that you gotta like time yourself directly to fall where the sea breaks, so that way it doesn't crush you, and keep moving up, moving up, moving up, and you find a fountain halfway through. There's a piece of morph materia there. Let me be very clear. Pick up that materia and level it. It has 2 levels. It's very important. It's called morph. Later on in the game, side quest wise, so this is no spoilers, but later on in the game, in order to get a free set of all the master materia, free set, people, Because getting the original set, you have to master every single piece of materia, which takes fucking forever. Free set of master materia. What you need to do is that there are three relics? 4 relics. I think it's 3 relics. Earth hype you get off of killing Desert Rose is a ruby weapon. Earth harp is the other fucker, emerald weapon, which are the 2 strongest things to kill in the game that were only in the American version of the game. You get those for killing them. And then to get the guidebook. The guidebook, if you give that to him, I believe the first item you give him, which the easiest one to do is the guidebook, is a golden chocobo. It'll be a shit chocobo, but it's still golden chocobo, which means you can now use that chocobo to climb mountains and go across rivers. And it's the only one that can do both, which means you go all the way out to the far island, far, far, far off in the right. Far, far, far. I'll go ahead and throw a map up there too, so that way everybody can fucking look at it, and I can sit here and just ramble on until I fucking get there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways.
Guys, if you had any idea how many pictures of Final Fantasy VII this has on the computer.
Anyways, but looking at the map, all the way to the right out there, Round Island, you can only get there with a golden chocobo, and that is where you get the legendary Knights of the Round materia, the strongest summon in the game. This thing is stupid fucking strong, and it takes forever to summon. Like, you cast it automatically on your turn, but fucking A, it is stupid long. I think like most cinematics for the summons are like 10 to 15 seconds. This one's like 30 or 40.
Jeez.
And it's like literally every knight from the round table shows up and does like a shitload of damage to whatever the fuck it is that you're fighting. Which, by the way, when we get to the end of this, we've already talked about having like a special episode where I kind of show Kelsey stuff that, I couldn't show her because of spoiler alert territory and stuff like that. I do plan on getting a video together that will show her all the summon cinematics, so that way you can see all those and know what those are. And Knights of the Round is pretty badass. A lot of them.
It'd be cool to see those with the original, like graphics. Cinematic,
mm-hmm.
And then when the remake comes out, oh my god! At this point, I'm pretty much guaranteed going to get the remake and play it.
That's great. I'm happy about that. That's a win in my
Probably
book.
Not going to play the original, if that's okay.
That's fine. You're pretty much playing the original now, so I mean, it's pretty much
now
what this
through
is.
you. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. But yeah, so we'll watch all of those, so that way you can see all those because they're pretty great. We'll probably watch all of the that in itself will probably take like 3 minutes, and then we'll probably watch all the limit breakers too, so that way you can see those as well. Anyways, because I put them on the videos, but just being able to see them all in one go, and then obviously ask questions throughout, it's a little bit different. So moving forward, so that's Round Island. So the way to get the guidebook is that if you have Morph leveled up, you will at some point go to an underwater level. When you go to this underwater level, you'll be in like a glass tunnel where you can see the sea and the fucking ocean critters and shit going around you, and you're just in this glass tunnel on the ocean floor. Run around in a circle, keep doing it until you fight a ghost pirate ship. It literally will have a skeleton on the front of it that attacks the fuck out of you, like it's part of the ship. He's a wooden skeleton that's part of the ship. You want to use Suicide level 12? Level 9? I think it's level 9. I don't know. It's one of the suicides. Doesn't matter. Use one of them. And what Suicide does is that it shoots this. It's like an explosion aspect, but it does it to a percentage of the character's health. So you cannot kill it with Suicide. You will just keep bringing it down, divided by whatever health it's at. So whenever you get to a low enough point, like double digit wise, then use Morph on it. Put it probably on Cloud. Whoever your strongest character is, put it on Cloud. And use Morph to kill it. Whenever you choose Morph, Cloud's going to attack, and it's going to be an attack with Morph. It will morph it into the guidebook. A lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people have never done this because no one's ever thought of using Morph, because they tried to use Morph once and it did absolutely nothing because people didn't know you had to fucking kill it with Morph. So if you morph other enemies, they do shit like fucking potions or whatever like that. It's really not that useful. The materia, honestly, is probably one of the worthless materials in the game, or one of the most worthless materials in the game. It's only specifically needed for this, and that's basically it. I've never used Morph for anything else. It's never happened. Now manipulation, that's a different aspect. Manipulation's great. You get that, level the fuck out of that thing because you're gonna need it if you want to level up your enemy skill materia. But we'll get into that some other time. Anyways, I'll give a little bit of like a materia lay down on the end too, but it won't be like heavy because we'll be there for fucking hours. Oh, and I forgot that materia.
And to be totally honest, since I've never played this game, some of this information is going way over my head, including limit breakers. Still don't understand what those are. Doesn't make any sense to me. Will probably make sense to me if I play the game.
Super moves. That's all you need to know.
That's more damage you take,
the more damage you take, and the more damage you do, your bar starts to build up, your limit bar, and then it breaks. Limit breaker. And yeah, fuck somebody up. Ultimate move. Anyways, so moving on. So yeah, morph materia, that's where we're at. So you grab the morph materia, keep moving forward, and you'll run into another one of those little ancient guys. Here, you can rest, save your game again. I suggest doing this every time you find one of them because you can't rest otherwise. There are no save points in this spot besides these guys. So if you find them, save, rest, move forward. Because there are some hard enemies in here. There are definitely some hard enemies in here. So the next room we're going to move into is a demon clock. Yes, you heard me right. It is a demon clock. And I've got a picture of that on standby too, so I can post that up there. So in the middle, you'll see a blue square. It's got a mouth. It's a demon. Basically, you can move the minute hand and the hour hand in order for you to move from one door to the other. Most of these
does not look very demonic. Just pointing that out.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't have the mouth on this picture. I'll try to look for one with the mouth whenever I go to upload it. But anyways, it's just like a red mouth that appears as like ha 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 and shit like that. Anyways, so you can move. You don't have to fight anything, or you don't have to fight it. If you fall down, because the second hand keeps moving. If you fall down, you are forced to fight. There is a good item down there. If you fall down to fight, I think it's Nail Bat, which is like a bat with a nail in it. Yes, for some fucking weird reason, that's one of Cloud's weapons, and it does stupid fucking damage. It's actually pretty strong. I hate picking it up because it looks fucking stupid. It's literally a bat with one nail in it. Like, dude, you made me give up the Buster Blade for this shit? You're trying to tell me this does more damage than the Buster Blade? Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, so you give somebody the fucking nail bat and give me the Buster Blade, I guarantee you I'm walking out of there a winner. 10 out of 10 times. I guarantee I'm walking out of there a winner.
You maybe not. Cloud, yes.
Watch me. I will master the art of the Buster Blade.
Isn't the Buster Blade like 10 feet long?
Fucking huge. It's absolutely ridiculously
and
huge.
Steel.
Yes, solid steel. Past the nail bat, past the demon clock. So we get past the demon block. This is the way that you get the ribbon, by the way, folks. This is the way that you get the ribbon. Also, a cool fun fact to note here is that this game is Final Fantasy VII. Roman numerals, Final Fantasy VII. All Final Fantasies before now have been Roman numerals. And somehow, during making this level with the demon clock, they forgot the Roman numeral for 4. They gave it 4 eyes. And I don't know why they did that. But you can clearly see that in the picture. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened at all. But they were like, you know what? Is it 4 eyes? Right? That's for 4, right? You would think at this point, with 7 of these games, all having Roman numerals, they might be a little fluent with the Roman numerals. You would think that, but you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. All the other ones are right. Except for
your
4.
Expectations are too damn high.
Too fucking high. Too fucking high. Anyways, moving on. So this is where you get the ribbon. It's through one of these doors, folks. Just try out the doors. You know, I mean, I wouldn't be the best walkthrough I could be if I didn't tell you which door it was. So you know what, folks? Don't worry. I got the strategy guide right here. We're gonna figure out what door ribbon was in. What door was ribbon in? What is ribbon? Ribbon is J, and J is through door 5. There you go, folks. Go through door number 5, and that's how you get ribbon. Door number 6 is the way out. I know that for a fact. Some of the doors are just fights, and some of the doors are actual items. But for sure, ribbon is 5, and the way out is 6. Okay, moving on. So, into the next room, we finally get to a long hallway that's got like these Egyptian-looking pictures painted into it. So like these old school Egyptian looking pictures, which obviously you think it's made by the ancients. Which, by the way, a little bit before we get here, we kind of get a peek about oh, it was the well. Okay, I touched on that a little bit where the morph materia was, and I got so sidetracked with the fucking morph materia. Back to the well for a quick second, for just a quick spell. So back to the well. Once you get all the way through the thing and you get past the fucking gigantic sea rocks, Aerith says, "Wait a second, Cloud, come here," and she runs back to the well. You chase her back to the well. I just got distracted again. I just found like the greatest picture of fucking Cloud petting a chocobo, and it's fucking amazing. And I'm gonna post in Discord for it because I know how much that chocobo was. Anyways, so you run back to the well, and basically you start right.
It's so cute.
Exactly. It's so good. Don't worry, guys. Y'all put it in there. Anyways, so back to it. So to the well, and it does like this whole flash showing like Sun and Elena finding that room that we were just talking about, and they're kind of wondering what it is. And then Sephiroth kind of shows up after Elena gets dismissed to leave. He's like, go contact the president, tell him what's all going on here. And then Sun kind of shows his feelings for Elena a little bit. He's all like, hey, what do you think about going and getting dinner after all this is over? She's like, oh yeah, that would be great. She's like oblivious to the fact that he's like hitting on her. Anyways, but moving forward, a little bit of love life for them. So Sephiroth shows up, fucking stabs Sun, and that's why he was all fucked up when we got here at the beginning. So Cloud and them end up walking through, and as you're kind of looking at the pictures, so it's like these Egyptian-looking people find a crystal. They hold crystal up, which we're going to go ahead and say is the black materia. And holding the black materia up, all of a sudden we see a meteor heading directly for the Earth in the pictures. So Sephiroth, seeing this, now knows in order for him to summon meteor, he needs the black materia. And so far, we think the black materia is in the Temple of Agents because that's kind of where we're at right now. So we keep moving forward, and all of a sudden we see Sephiroth, and he's just sitting there laughing, saying, "Don't worry, Mother, I'm about to be one with the Earth." And Aerith goes, "What do you mean by that? What do you mean by one with the Earth?" And he goes, "In order for the Earth to use its energy, it needs to be injured. So if you can injure the Earth, it has to put out energy to heal itself. If I was to cause an injury, that was to put the actual life of the planet in danger. Imagine the amount of energy that would come out to protect it. And me at the source of all that energy, I can then take it all and ascend into a god, and then I will rule over everyone." Yep.
Ugh.
Yep. Your classic bad guy shit, for sure.
I will become a god. Oh, good lord, no, you won't.
So, that is Sephi's plan at the moment. And
Sephi?
Yeah, I call him Sephi sometimes. We're like, oh, little Sephi. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Right? Yeah. So that's Sephi's plan. Whenever I don't feel like saying Sephiroth, I just go, oh, Sephi. Oh, it's Sephi being Sephi again. Look at him. Little guy. Oh, he just misses his mama. Little Sephi. Anyways.
God.
So
Sephi needs to go to some freaking counselor.
Right? Get over your dead mom. Anyways.
Got your head. Can you imagine how much that would freak a counselor out? Like, say, well, here, I got her head right.
Yeah, it's like you're just sitting there arguing with them. It's like, well, let's talk about these issues with your mom. Well, don't talk about it like she's not in the room. What do you mean? Just pulls out a fucking decapitated head. He's like, she's being a real dick right now, okay? And it would be great if you could be on my side. That would be really great if you could just tell her. Oh my God. Be like, Genova, calm the fuck down, okay?
Yeah.
Just tell her. Anyways, so back to Sephi. So that's his plan. And so basically they are all like, that's not going to be how that works. And Sephiroth starts to laugh and he goes, "You need to wake up, Cloud." And then he flies off. But as he flies off, Cloud goes to follow him, and then he just stops and he stares at the painting of the meteor coming to crash down into the earth, and just starts to kind of like, I don't really know how to describe it, but like seizure while standing up. But he's laughing the entire time. And so they're like,
That's creepy.
right? And they're like, Cloud, what's going on? He's like, ha 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 ha, and he's like, mother, and then he starts laughing again, and he's like, meteor, black materia, and then all of a sudden they're all like, Cloud, snap out of it, Cloud, and like he puts his hands to his head and starts like freaking the fuck out and yelling, and all of a sudden he just snaps back in a cloud, and he doesn't remember doing that at all. Everything that just happened, doesn't remember any of that. So Aerith and Tifa decide to also act like it did not happen. to move things forward.
Obviously, the best option is everybody goes, and we all just hallucinated. Moving on.
Yep. So,
oh my god.
They're like, nothing happened. All right, cool. Because they're all like, Cloud, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, what's going on? And they're all like, well, what just happened? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What just happened? And then they're all like, nothing just happened. I mean, that's literally how the dialogue happens. It's like, nothing happened, right, Tifa? And Tifa's like, yeah, nothing happened.
I like how the whole group just decides denial is the easiest option. Like, guys.
Fuck it. Anyways, so going back to that. Anyways, so we have Cloud freaks the fuck out. So then they walk up to this little table, and on it is a small version of the Temple of the Ancients. Small little black kind of see-through version of the Temple of the Ancients. Cloud goes to touch it, and it says black materia. So it's like, oh, this must be the black materia. So he goes to pick it up, and the entire temple starts to shake and move. It's like, oh, fuck, hold on. So Aerith is like, let me ask quick. So she starts talking to, nobody. But she starts talking to the dead ancients and asking them, hey, what the fuck's going on? And they let her know, like, hey, in order for us to make sure no one could get their hands on the black materia, since it is so strong, we decided to craft it into something people wouldn't know what it was. So the black materia is the temple itself. So the little black version of the temple is a puzzle. If you solve it, you get the black materia, but it will kill everybody inside the temple and destroy itself. So everybody that's in the temple. So in order to get the black materia, everybody's going to die.
Including the person solving it?
Including the person solving it. That is correct. Exactly. They wanted no one to be able to get it. Because they wanted to
then
steal away
everything
media.
crashes down, and then it's just like sitting there, and somebody's gonna like piece through the rubble and find it and be like, oh, this is cool. Let's kill everything.
A gigantic crater where the temple used to be will just be a black piece of materia just fucking chilling there. Yep.
Somebody that is not good future proofing.
Yeah.
I understand what they were thinking, but no, if I was any bad guy, let's say if I was Rufus, I'd absolutely send somebody in there and be like, here, solve the puzzle. And then I just wander in once everything was all crashed.
Well,
terrible decision. Bad call.
Thankfully, not only did you have that idea, but so did Cloud, because Tifa was like, just leave it. It's okay. It's fine. No one can get it. And Cloud's like, no, Sephiroth has plenty of people he doesn't care about whether they live or die. We have to find a way to get this now. At which then we get a phone call. We answer the phone, and who's been listening to our conversation this entire time? The fucking spy, obviously. But wait. Cait Sith isn't real. So guess who's ready to sacrifice himself to make up for the shit he did in order for us to get the black materia?
Oh.
Cait Sith. Oh shit, redeeming qualities starting to come in a little bit. He's
I don't know. I don't think it counts. If it's like, hey, I control a robot, how about I do this with the robot so everybody lives?
But you gotta remember, Cait Sith brought Mog to life by himself. So Cait Sith himself does have kind of like his own existence, is kind of how it's been talked about in the Final Fantasy forums. So feel free to argue with me in the comments if you disagree. But this is definitely something that's been talked about a lot. And my childhood version of me wants to believe that Cait Sith and Mog are real because I love their character build. I just like that character, the way it looks and everything, like a little cat riding on his fucking Mog. It's great. So there is an aspect of Cait Sith that, because I mean, Cait Sith has a different accent than Reeves, and he has like a different way of thinking. There's times where they talk about like Reeves argues with the fact of like, hey, why Cait Sith did something. He's like, well, I don't know, I wouldn't do that. It's like, but you control it. So it is like Cait Sith does have his own personality, which a lot of people actually pitted the fact that Reeves probably would not have helped out the team this early, especially right after fucking stabbing them in the back. that it was more Kate Sith because he was with them for so long. Kind of called the shots on doing this a little bit more than Reeves did. But once again, this character has not been dived into enough, and I don't think ever will. Maybe with the remake. I mean, they're going to be adding a ton of shit in there, shit that we didn't have, previous knowledge of. Once again, we get backstories on all the fucking earlier characters too, like fucking Jesse and Biggs and all them. So there's a good chance that we could get a lot more story on Kate Sith, because it would be great, because he doesn't make any fucking sense. But so Kate Sith volunteers to die in the temple. So he gets in there and he starts messing with it. The temple itself just crushes down into this crater, and there it is, the black materia just sitting in the middle of the pit. So whoever you have with you, your third person, the third will, unfortunately at this point for me is Tifa, decides to stay up top. Oh, almost blew through a serious fucking part here. Okay, so
what
normally,
the fuck, Chris? What
normally,
the fuck?
So they actually meet Kate Sith at the exit. You fight two bosses on the way there. The first one you fight is a red dragon. After you kill it, make sure you pick up the red piece of materia it drops, because it drops my favorite materia in the game, Bahamut. It's the first version of Bahamut you get. Later on, you'll get like Bahamut Zero and Neo Bahamut and shit like that. But it's the first version of Bahamut you get. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. Bahamut. It's great. Anyways, so moving on. You run into Kate Sith in the exit, and Aerith says, well, why don't you give us one last fortune before you leave? And Kate Sith's all like, yeah, great. So they're still trying to go out like on a friend note. So he's like, yeah, I can do that. One last fortune before I leave. And he's all like, okay, what do you want to know? And Aerith goes, I want to know, and it's a great idea for dialogue choices, people at home, if you have Tifa on your team here. Aerith asks, and before I go into this, I want you to have a quick second to kind of understand the side of the game if you would have chose Aerith to be your lover. Aerith is a young girl who lost her mom very early, and she remembers that. Who everybody that's ever died in her life, she can still hear them, and did not know why until just recently. Didn't know that she was an ancient. She's been tortured a lot. The only guy she ever fell in love with was Soldier, and worked for Shinra, and has no idea where he's at. Never heard from him again. All we know is that his name is Zack. So Soldier and worked for Shinra. Immediately gravitated towards Cloud because he reminded her so much of him, because he's also from Soldier and works for Shinra and has the Mako colored eyes. So them having like this love story makes a lot of sense to me. I've always been more of a Tifa fan. It makes a lot of sense, and like their character progression together is just as strong as Tifa and Cloud's, because there's a different side for her to act on, to where like she's just like, I hate Shinra. Tifa is. Mm-hmm. Aerith is more of, I'm trying to understand Shinra and understand Soldier to understand what's going on. Like, what happened to Zack? Why are they after me? What's going on? And her and Cloud can kind of help heal each other through that process. Because I know you said that you have like a big bias towards Tifa, mainly due to my big bias towards Tifa. So I'm trying to let you get a little more glimpse of Aerith.
I'm glad you did this, because I've been wondering for a long time, like, why they pushed Aerith, especially because we know what's coming. Mm-hmm. Sorry, we spoiled it, but we're not going to spoil it anymore. So if you haven't picked up on it, go you, I guess. Yeah. But also, you're not listening. So shit. Yeah. But I've basically been wondering why not Aerith. I know you said for you it was Zack, but she seems absolutely lovely in every way. So
right, and she is
probably hella powerful.
Yeah, she is really. Yeah, she's really strong. She's a great mage. She's better as like a healer and shit like that than she is like an actual fighter, in my opinion. A lot of her stuff has to deal with like healing the team, or giving the team buffs, or slowing the enemy team down, debuffing the enemies and shit like that. Once again, you got to remember, like, she's just like this troubled girl who, even though she seems like the damsel in distress, like to where Tifa is more like in your face, I'll beat your ass. Like Aerith is the kind of like, give me a chance and I'll prove to you that I'm more than what I look like type deal, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So stuff like that. She's just this real sweet overall girl. Like I said, I don't hate Aerith. I just like Tifa more. Can't help it. Tifa's bae. Anyways, so, but like I said, she's got a lot of troubled shit in her past, and a lot of it is hard for her to like dive into and move through. And Cloud's got a lot of shit he's dealing with as well. So there's a lot of times where, like, whenever they get those alone times, kind of like how Cloud Tifa did, they try to talk about the past. Tifa's like, I don't really want to talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it, but she seems weird about it. Aerith is more of like, let's try to heal each other type deal and talk to each other type deal. So Aerith is really not a bad character. But anyway, so at this point, she's all like, why don't you, and regardless of who you took on the date, this still happens. Doesn't matter who you took on the date. She says, well, why don't you give me and Cloud our fortune? And he goes, okay. Or no, see how compatible me and Cloud are. And so Case is like, all right, cool. And so he starts getting it out, and then he looks at the fortune and goes, oh man, I can't say this out loud. Poor Tifa. But he says it out loud anyway. So, or he says that part out loud anyway. And so then Tifa kind of like obviously gets upset and turns around, and or she actually does that whenever Aerith asks for that fortune. She gets upset and turns away from them. And then whenever he's like, I can't say that, poor Tifa. And then Tifa turns around and Aerith goes, oh, but you have to tell me. And Tifa's like, don't worry, I won't be mad. Just say it. And he goes, you and Cloud are destined to be together. Your stars align. You guys are going to be extremely compatible moving forward in the future. And then Kate says, don't worry, buddy. I'll be your wingman for life. And then he starts bouncing out. It's pretty great. So they do that last little fortune tell thing with Kate said thing with, so he does the black materia, blows up, Anyway, so we're going down in the pit to get the black materia. Tifa decides to stay up. Cloud and Aerith go down to grab the materia. Cloud picks up, puts it in his pocket, and they start talking about what to do with the black materia. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're getting ready to leave, and guess who shows up? Sephiroth! Yep, Sephiroth. Good old Sephi. Anyway, so Sephi shows up. He comes flying down and lands behind Cloud, and he's all like, you're going to give me the black materia. And Cloud's like, no, I'm not. And he goes, yes, you are. So he does like this whole like kneeling down thing, which is actually pretty cool because it happens in the movie too, just not with Sephiroth. But we'll get to that at some point sooner or later, whenever you come watch the movie. So he does this whole like kneeling down thing, and like you see Cloud split in two, except it's like Cloud's kid self before he left for Shinra, and then Cloud that we have, Soldier Cloud. And Soldier Cloud is walking towards Sephiroth with the black materia in hand, and Kid Cloud is standing there screaming no, while Aerith and Tifa are also screaming no. And he hands Sephiroth the black materia, and then Sephiroth starts to laugh and goes, you will be nothing more than just a remnant, and leaves.
Jeez.
Or nothing more than just a puppet, not remnant. Not a remnant. Remnant somewhere else. Nothing more than just a puppet, and then leaves. To where Cloud then starts to freak out, and he's like, I'm me. I'm Cloud. How did this happen? What just happened? How did I give that to him? What is going on with me? I'm Cloud. Freaking the fuck out. And then Aerith is kind of trying to console him, and then he kind of like shoves her off, but she kind of like falls down, and he starts like punching the ground and freaking the fuck out. At this point, Kate Sith 2.0 comes walking up, and he's like, hey guys, I'm back. It's me, another Kate Sith. He's like, oh, I came in at a bad time, which is pretty funny.
Something is very wrong.
Something is fucking happening. Anyways, and so then Tifa slides down into the pit, kind of pushes Cloud back. It's like, Cloud, get your shit together, helps Aerith up, da-da-da-da-da. And then he's just like freaking out. So then the screen goes black, and all of a sudden we see a forest. And it's a sleeping forest. And we see Aerith's hair kind of hiding behind a tree, and then she kind of pokes her head out. She's like, hey, Cloud, how are you? And it's like, I guess I'm doing better. This is where like a lot of this stuff comes into, like, and you'll notice this in the movie. A lot of like how Aerith is actually able to be part of like Cloud's mind is really weird, but really cool, because this happens a lot during the movie. And I think I had a couple of the flashes in my AMV, but like actually having the story behind it, it will make sense when you go to watch the movie. You'll be like, oh, that happened in the game. So like every time it happens in the movie, I'm just like, oh, because they play Aerith's theme every time it happens too. So it's like all of a sudden everything goes quiet. Like one of the scenes for sure, he's like riding on his motorcycle, so it's just this loud engine. All of a sudden, like everything goes white, and he's just standing there, and all of a sudden you hear the da-na-na, da-na-na, and you're all like, oh, Aerith! Anyways, so it's great. It's great. Can't let Tifa hear me say that. I said it too loud.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she's like, hey, Cloud, how are you? And he's like, I think I'm okay. And then she's all like, so I figured out what I need to do. And he's like, what's that? She goes, I need to go to the city, or the ancient city. And he's all like, why do you need to go there? She goes, well, there's only one way to stop Sephiroth, and that's to stop Meteor. And I'm the only one that can do that because I'm the last survivor of the Cetra, which, as we talked about, are the Ancients. And he's all like, well, what's there? She goes, the only chance we have to stop the Meteor, and only I can go. And he's all like, well, there's got to be a way I can help you. At which this point, she like jumps in the air, and as she comes back down, she jumps like off screen. Everything's like slow-mo and shit. As she comes back down, Cloud comes back down with her, so you can kind of see him and her. And she's all like, I have to be able to, stop Sephiroth. This is our last chance. I have to go to the City of the Ancients. So she starts to walk away, and he's like, please, or I think he says, please forgive me. And she's like, well, forgive you for what? And she's like, it wasn't your fault. Don't worry about it. And so she starts to run towards this bright white light, and Cloud goes to chase her, and he's running, but he's just standing still. So he's just running in place. He can't move forward. And then she disappears, and as she disappears, Sephiroth comes flying down. And he goes, City of the Ancients, huh? That girl's going to be a bother. We're going to have to stop her at some point. And then he leaves. Screen goes black. We wake up in a bed with Barrett and Tifa standing next to us. And Tifa's like, Cloud, are you okay? And he's like, I don't know. And Barrett's like, well, you need to get your ass up. Aerith is missing. No one knows where she's at. We got everybody out there looking for her. And he's like, she's at the City of the Ancients. He's like, how do you know that? And he goes, I just do. She's at the City of the Ancients. She's going to stop Meteor. She's the only one that can. And then Barrett's like, well, then get your ass up. We got to hurry up and get there. And he's all like, no, we can't go. And he's like, what do you mean we can't go? He's like, because I can't be trusted. And he's all like, you need to wake the fuck up, Cloud. There's no time for this. We're on this train. We're not getting off till the very end. We have to go find Aerith before Sephiroth does. And Cloud goes, Sephiroth already knows where she's going. And he's like, how do you know that? And he's like, I can't tell you, or I can't explain it. I just do. And he's like, well, then that should make you want to get your ass up out of bed and let's go. And he goes, but what if I freak out again? I can't control myself when Sephiroth's around me. I don't know what's wrong with me, but whenever he's around, I'm not me. And then he's like, so if I get close to Sephiroth, I don't know what will happen. And this is my favorite line from Barrett. Barrett's like, you bring your ass, and if anything happens and you start to go crazy again, I'll slap you upside your spiky head and bring your ass back to normal. It's fucking great. I love it. Spiky ass head.
I knew I was going to love Barrett. Oh my God.
He's great. He's great. In the fucking movie, he leaves Cloud a voicemail on his phone, and Cloud listens to like his voicemails, and like you know it's Barrett because it's like it clicks to the next. It's like next message, click is like, yo, Spiky. I fucking love it. Coming out there to see Marlene soon. I fucking love it. I love Barrett. He's so great. Anyways, so Tifa is basically kind of just standing there like listening to it. She's like, don't worry, Cloud. Like, we're gonna be there with you. Don't worry. And it's like, I can't do this. And then Barrett's like, well, we gotta go. Tifa, let's go. And they start walking out, and he's like, Tifa, he has to choose this on his own. So they go walking out, and Cloud's like, I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Like, he literally says that, I'm afraid. And they go walking out, and Cloud has like a second to like collect himself, and he gets up, and then he comes walking out. And then now we are on our way to the City of the Ancients. One little thing that we had to do before that is we had to stop in Bone Village and get this fucking Earth Harp, because it's the only way to get to the Sleeping Forest without falling asleep and then basically winding back out. So you can't go in there until you get the Earth Harp from Bone Village, which is just basically blowing it up out of the ground. There's some excavators shit there, and like fucking you blow the shit up, get it out of the ground, then go to the forest. It's real quick. It's like 2 seconds. But yeah. Anyways, so Bone Village, which I'll look for a picture of that as we're getting close to wrapping up here. But the official next episode will be the last part. Technically, this is kind of like, we're kind of like on the verge of the end of Disc 1. But after next episode, we will officially be in Disc 2. Progress.
So we need to talk about Cait Sith real fast.
All right, let's talk about Cait Sith.
Just briefly, because so the reason I don't trust Cait Sith is because he has a person back at Shinra that's controlling him.
Right.
The reason I might want to separate Cait Sith, and I'm definitely asking you, I'm thinking through here. The reason I might want to rethink that is because the person that I don't trust is the person that somewhat has some control over Cait Sith. Maybe debatably how much, and is arguable at this particular stage with what I know. at the very least, can hear what he hears, see what he sees, kind of thing.
So one thing to point out, and it's because we have had it already happen, and because it's been so long, you probably don't remember it. When the entire whole dropping the Midgar Sector 7 plate was in play, he was the one
Mm-hmm.
that argued against it and tried to get the president to rethink the idea.
Yes.
He was the only person that fought against that. Everybody else wanted that to happen. Not
Yes,
necessarily trying to
and
put him in a good light, but that is
yeah.
one thing to remember about Reeves is that he fought for that to not happen.
Yeah, Reeves is not a 100% evil character. So I'm glad there's levels of gray here in this very complex character, including I'm wondering if it's not Kate Sith I dislike, it's Reeves I dislike, and I dislike him because I don't trust him and I don't trust like the fact how information travels through him to the rest of Shinra. I don't think he
Right.
can keep his mouth shut.
Right.
And he may be able to, he may just not have the opportunity because they're like, "Oh, you've got this thing on their team, so talk to us." He may not have an option there.
Right.
And so I'm just wondering if I should be giving Kate Sith a little bit more, like Kate Sith as a character, not Reeves, but Kate Sith as a character, a little bit more grace in my head for the fact that he is a creation that has become somewhat, arguably at levels, independent, and I should therefore view Mog, Kate Sith, and Reeves separately, and should hold them accountable for their deeds separately.
So that all falls down to how you really see it. It's whether or not, like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a perfect way to say this because, once again, I mean, a lot of people don't believe that Reeves and Kate Sith are separated, that everything Kate Sith does is because of Reeves. There are people that believe that Kate Sith is his own character because of the fact that he chose to bring life to Mog, which was not a direct order from Reeves, which has been proven. I can't remember how it got proven, but that part actually has been proven. But some people still believe that, Reeves had a hand to play in that. So it just really comes down to what you believe. So if Kate Sith was able to go on and do this thing by himself without being commanded to do it, in my opinion, that gives him his own character. How much influence he has over himself, being created himself, that's that's up for debate. Did
Hmm.
Reeves make something, bring it to life, but still have mind control over it? Because if so, then that kind of puts Reeves in a more of a negative light. Because it's like, what is he stopping Kate Sith from being able to do with his own life type deal.
Hmm.
And then one thing I will
Oh,
be doing, just so the viewers know, when we get off of this, I already have it queued up. I will be having Kelsey watch the date scene again, just the carousel, but with Aerith this time, just so that way you can kind of wrap up that into that love story. Since I thought about the fact of just kind of introducing you to that again, so that way you can kind of understand like where Aerith and Cloud went to, since those are the triangle. After we did the date scene yesterday, I thought about it and I was like, it would make more sense for you to understand the triangle if you saw both portions. It just would make
oh,
more
okay,
sense. So we'll watch that too, which is like fucking a minute. So
okay,
we won't watch the whole play and all that because it's the same with each character, just the little ride.
cute. Sounds good.
Anyways, but that won't be on screen. I'm just letting the viewers at home know she will watch that, so that way for next episode, if she has any thoughts about it, she can bring it up then before we move forward with the episode.
Brilliant.
Anyway, so yeah, so like I said, it comes down to how you view Kate Sith. Honestly, it really does. I mean, so many people can argue it every single which way. I mean, like I said, the way I look at it is Kate Sith is kind of its own being, but I think Reeves has some kind of control over it because he created it, and that's just kind of like how it's been viewed. So that's how I personally look at it. So yeah, it just really depends on how you look at it.
That's something that might, like, if I was actually playing the game, that might. I wonder if they're going to add anything into the remake to like flesh out this character and kind of their relationship a little bit more to provide just because it's a really interesting concept and being vague. I guess there's elements of that make it more interesting
I mean,
because then you can speculate as much as you want, you can debate it, as opposed to if they kind of firmly put it in concrete, then it's a little bit more firm and less debatable. But it's an interesting idea, and the fact, like, the sheer existence of Mog is what makes this just layers upon layers of gray.
right. And I,
Hmm.
I, I honestly really hope they do. I mean, there's so much room to give life to other characters that they didn't have a chance to do in the first place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really am looking forward to hopefully getting more of a deeper dive on some of these characters that we don't understand that well. Vincent, we got a deep dive on. He got his own game. I would still like to see some of his backstory pushed more into this game versus them worrying about possibly giving us another game. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be more up for that than anything else. But because I don't know how much they're going to look into the continuity of all these games together. As far as like one single story, I don't think like this is going to change anything with like Crisis Core or even before Crisis. I think all that kind of has to stay the same way. But
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, it doesn't mean it all has to. And Dirge came out afterwards. I mean, Dirge wasn't like significant to the story because it was more of a continuation of like Vincent, and a lot of it takes place to what happened afterwards. But still, like, yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Which, by the way, I just found it's like fucking 200 pictures, and I'll after I fucking download all these because I'm definitely going to. It's like someone like hand drew like all the big moments of the game,
Oh,
like
cool.
hand painted. Like they look fucking phenomenal. Obviously, I can't show you like the later ones, but like I'm at the date scene right now, and like yeah, wow, these look fucking amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Man, people are just willing to labor of love for this game. This is
and
so
that's
cool.
something I kind of want to talk about on the podcast too, and I completely forgot about. And I guess I'll say it here is like I don't fuck around when I say like the fan base for this game is insane. It's absolutely insane. Like we literally had fans remake the exact same Final Fantasy game, go into the game's code and redo the graphics themselves with like the updated rendered backgrounds to where like they look fresh and clean, make 3D avatar versions of the characters so that way they actually look like 3D avatars versus these polygon characters. Just
Man.
recently, before Crisis was the only Final Fantasy VII game I'd never played until just like a month ago, and that's because it only came out in Japan on a specific Japanese phone that Cloud and them use in the movie. The phone was made for the movie promotional or promotional purposes, and like there was a very limited amount of them made, and it had the game already preloaded on the phone. So you couldn't get that unless you were going to pay like a couple thousand for it. So I just never got to play before Crisis. I just read about what the story was about and watched all the cutscenes. And now a fan literally got like a copy of it, broke it off of the phone, downloaded it on his computer, made an RPG builder, and rebuilt the game on the computer and then released it to everybody for free. So I got to officially play. It looked like shit. It looked like hot ass. Like it was terrible. It looked terrible. But I got to fucking play the shit out of it. It was great. And I finally got to see what Before Crisis Core was all about. So that was fun.
That had to be cool.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, to have that dedicated of a fan base is just insane. It's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
I love it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. But anyways.
Well, all right, friends, that's going to wrap it up for our 12th class on the Final Fantasy VII semester. I know we touched on a lot of topics that you actually may have opinions on. So please jump in the comments, interact with us, tell us what you think, tell us what thoughts you have, tell us why Aerith is so much better than Tifa. Chris will
Whoa.
probably argue with you, but I will definitely read those comments and I will learn things that I don't currently know because we have a little bit of a Tifa bias on this show via Chris. But no matter what, we would
Whoa.
love to interact with you in those comments or, of course, on our Twitter or Twitch links, which are below. And most importantly, if you enjoyed this content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you know when to come to class. And we will see you in our next class next week. Bye, friends.